If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles.
Hello, BMFox here and welcome to Remaster of the Comintern Doctrine. On top of that, I'm gonna share with you my favorite Doctrine build order. It was about time that I made an update, because in the past year a lot has changed. For starters, I'm gonna go fast over the Comintern Doctrine, then I'm gonna show you some build orders, and lastly, I'm gonna show you how I've used the build order in a real game. If you haven't watched my Comintern Doctrine video yet, then you should do this before watching this video, because I'm not going to go over the basics again. The Comintern Doctrine is all about quantity, and due to its 15% reduced production cost and 30% reduced upkeep cost, it is very easy for beginners to play Comintern Doctrine. This is going to be way easier to develop your economy and getting a large army at the same time. However, you also get a nerf. Your units deal 10% less damage. The biggest enemy of Comintern Doctrine is Axis, because they get 15% more hit points, so it takes 15% longer to kill them. With their 15% damage buff and your 10% damage nerf, there's a damage difference output of 25%. So if you go toe to toe with an Axis player, you will lose. Also, Pan-Asian is very dangerous for Comintern, as they move very fast, 20% faster. They have a large view range, so they're gonna see you coming from way ahead, and they get additional 20% terrain bonuses on the units that already get terrain bonuses. So Comintern may be good for artillery, but Pan-Asian artillery combined with the terrain bonuses is pretty damn good as well. Comintern and allies go toe to toe. Comintern can produce a lot of units cheaply. Allies can produce fast and research and upgrade those units faster. So allies and Comintern Doctrine balance out each other pretty nicely. You deal 10% damage, allies moves 10% slower. So Comintern versus allies is pretty fun to play. Comintern Militia gets additional terrain bonuses in mountains and urban territory. Their infantry gets an additional 25% upkeep cost reduction, and they produce 30% faster. In the ordnance tab, artillery is 10% cheaper and produces 20% faster. So the 10% production cost reduction together with the 15% reduction cost from the Doctrine makes this unit very interesting, very cheap. Anti-tank deals an additional 15% damage versus light armored targets and heavy armored targets. And unfortunately, the SP anti-air is later available for Comintern Doctrine. In the tank tab, medium tank is sooner available and deals 10% more damage versus all units, and you can train it 20% faster, which is pretty interesting. Also, the Comintern heavy tank is a real beast. They deal 10% damage versus heavy armor targets, and they have 10% more hit points. This makes the Comintern heavy tank pretty good, but of course, it cannot compete with the Axis heavy tank. Comintern Tank Destroyer Research is sooner available. Comintern Air is pretty bad, unfortunately. No bonuses for interceptors or tactical bombers, even a nerf in research for interceptors. Upgrades for attack bombers are sooner available, and they have 15% hit points, 15% less production time. But that is, in my opinion, only a minor bonus, and they can certainly not compete with the Axis attack bombers, which are the best in the game. No bonus for strategical bombers, not for naval bombers neither. The air branch of Comintern is weak all over. In the naval branch, cruisers get 15% additional hit points. That gives them the same amount of hit points as Axis. They still deal less damage than Axis cruisers, however, and the updates are available sooner. The research and upgrades for battleships get a nerf. No bonus for aircraft carriers. This makes the Comintern Navy pretty weak. However, where the Comintern Doctrine excels is in the secret branch. Comintern Doctrine is the only doctrine that can produce rocket artillery at A1. The research takes 17 hours, but it's really worth it, and you can produce them 20% faster. And as rocket artillery counters unarmored units, this is one of the best units in the early game. Also, the SP rocket artillery gets a Comintern bonus. They move 15% faster and deal 10% more damage versus all units, and their upgrades and their research is available at day 4 instead of day 6. No bonuses for railroad guns, guns, flying bombs, rockets, rocket fighter, nuclear rocket, or any of the other nuclear weapons. Alright, the moment you've all been waiting for, let's get into the Comintern doctrine build order. So when you start a game, first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna start researching rocket artillery and also anti-tank. You're gonna build 2 ordnance foundries, 2 secret labs, and 1 tank plant. Once your anti-tank research is done, you're gonna produce them. Next, you're gonna research artillery. By that time, you're already gonna have 2 anti-tank units. And then you can switch the production to artillery, and you're gonna research armored cars. When the armored cars research is done, you're gonna produce them. And then lastly, you can also start with the research and production of anti-air. You're gonna produce artillery until you have 10 of them. When you have your 10 artillery, you can focus on anti-tank and anti-air production. And way before that time, you're also going to be able to produce rocket artillery, as the 17-hour research will have finished. Artillery and rocket artillery that are stacked together with anti-tank, anti-air infantry, and armored cars are virtually impossible to take down because they give both protection against air units, unarmored units, and armored units. And of course, your armored cars are also going to function as a scout. You can continue to produce these units until day 6, and don't forget to upgrade them. Comintern Doctrine is actually cheaper in production, and so upgrading units for the Comintern Doctrine is less interesting. However, on big maps, it is necessary to upgrade your units. If you only play small maps like the 12-player Road to War or the 22-player map Clash of Nations, you can win without upgrading your units, but on bigger maps like 50 players, Homefront or Pacific, or even the 100 World at War map, you're gonna need upgraded units. You can upgrade your units with the upgrade trick. You research level 2, and then straight after you research level 3, and just before your level 3 research is done, you're gonna upgrade your units to level 2, and once your units have been upgraded, you're gonna upgrade to the highest available level, which is level 3. And so you're going to get level 3 for free. It's amazing. On day 6, you're going to change tactics. However, you might not make it to day 6 with only land units. Your anti-air will protect you against any air attacks. However, you're going to need a navy, right? So you've got 2 options. The cheapest is to produce naval bombers and submarines. You're going to give you a very adequate coastal defense. It is the cheapest way and very efficient if you don't plan a big-scale invasion to another continent where you need to cross an ocean. However, if you plan later in the game to do a big naval invasion, then instead destroyers and cruisers are recommended. Day 6 is very important as it unlocks the railroad gun research and also the rocket fighter research. As Comintern Air is pretty inefficient and pretty weak, you better go straight for rocket fighters because those planes are pretty OP and you're gonna be able to trash any enemy air, with the exception of Axis rocket fighters, of course. The railroad gun is pretty powerful and is the new meta in Call of War, so producing those are very important. Don't forget to protect them with militia, anti-air, and anti-tank. And I say militia because they're cheap to produce and they are still a bit faster than railroad guns, and as rocket fighters have a small range, so you're gonna build air bases as you go, and then you can use your militia to protect those provinces with airstrips against revolts. You can only pull off the railroad gun tactic if you have opted for submarines and naval bombers, because if you are producing destroyers and cruisers, then your metal consumption will be too high to produce railroad guns, and in that case I recommend that you produce medium tanks instead. So either you go subs, naval bombers, railroad guns, or you go destroyers, cruisers, medium tanks. In 90% of the cases, cruisers are more than enough to win a game because, well, naval units, they can't conquer provinces, and so they are kind of a waste of resources, you know? In my opinion, their only function is to keep your coast safe from invasion and to keep your units safe if you want to invade yourself. However, on bigger maps, you might encounter players that are going for battleships. and you could be confronted with the fact that at a certain point you might be obligated to make battleships as well. And Asian battleships are very fast, and Axis battleships have a lot of HP and a lot of damage. If you're facing those two doctrines, even then you need to be very careful. As you have already destroyers and cruisers, you're gonna have protection against submarines and against naval bombers, as cruisers have a high anti-air value, and as a battleship only takes 4 hours 30 to produce, with 2 naval bases you can produce 10 battleships in less than a day. So even if you find yourself in a dire situation, pull back your cruisers and destroyers, sail back to your naval bases, pick up 10 battleships, and then you can shred the enemy to pieces. If you want to see in detail how I've adopted the medium tank destroyer cruiser strategy, I recommend that you watch the 2000 subscribers game that I played on the Pacific map. Next up now is the build order with naval bombers, submarines, and railroad guns. I am Comintern, so I'm keeping it simple, stupid, same strategy like I was doing in the 2000 subscribers game. In the early game, anti-tank, anti-air, artillery, rocket artillery. That's what I'm gonna do. I've already produced 2 anti-tanks. My 2 artillery just came out of production, which is great. And as it's a speed game, they only need 1 hour 30 to get to the front line. That's pretty badass, man. This one, 47 minutes. Damn, that's super fast. That's artillery on steroids. This is gonna be a very interesting game. I have built 2 secret labs, 2 ordnance foundries, and 1 tank plant. So my ordnance foundries are here in Bogota and in Pasto, and I've put closer to the future front. With Venezuela, I have put in Puerto Inirida and Barranquilla. I have constructed secret labs, and then here in Medellin, the furthest away from the front line, my tank plant, as armored cars move fast. I only have to wait now another 2.5 hours until my rocket artillery research is done. And then I'm gonna be able to produce them, put them in the queue, and go to bed. As you can see, I am low on manpower, but that is because I have 10 rocket artillery now and 10 regular artillery. The war against Venezuela is going great. So far I haven't met much resistance. He has been moving units a bit, but they all have been cannon fodder, nothing special. I've also started attacking now East Amazonas. I'm organized, I have a lot of artillery, so they won't be able to do anything against me. I'm now the proud owner of 3 naval bombers and 8 submarines. I'm also producing militia so that I can use them as garrison units. Then I can use my infantry to put them in my artillery stacks, because they're not protected like I would wish them to be. We are day 6, so I also need to research here the rocket fighters. Ah no, I forgot to research flying bomb. Damn. Okay, it's okay. There we go. And then as well in the secret tab, I want to research railroad guns. Let's go. Perfect. Then in province administration, I am also upgrading all my military buildings. And for these 2 here, I should already queue up the next level, level 3. There we go. In the queue. Perfect. Done. Alrighty. Perfect. Alright, we are 2/3 into day 8. More units are arriving, but he mainly has light tanks and infantry, so it's gonna be over very, very fast. I made 2 giant stacks, so when he counterattacks, I've got in each stack infantry, anti-tank, I've got anti-air, at least 10 artillery, so I'm pretty good over here. And I've got 2 stacks of those, so as soon as I'm gonna rain down hell on him with 20 artillery, he's gonna realize his mistake of putting all his eggs in one basket. I've kept, however, units over here because we've got Marinhao that is battling against East Brazil, and I don't want to be next on the menu, so I'm keeping a small stack over here just in case. You never know, right? And it's pretty cool because I have my first railroad gun, which is amazing. It took 5 hours, so that's almost a day, so I had to upgrade my secret lab to level 4, and I'm already doing the same over here in Barranquilla because I am making rocket fighters, and I'm gonna need level 4 secret lab to produce a level 2 rocket fighters. So that's great. I've got a giant army now, man. I'm gonna try to select them all. So I've got 18 anti-air, 18 anti-tank, 15 armored cars, 10 regular artillery. I've upgraded my starting infantry to level 3. Got 20 rocket artillery, 13 militia, 11 subs, 5 naval bombers, 1 railroad gun, and 2 rocket fighters. So now basically I'm gonna focus on upgrading my units to level 3 and my rocket artillery to level 2 while continuing producing rocket fighters and railroad guns. Pretty straightforward. Argelinsk has now almost taken all of Europe. He's really dominating, man. Damn. Making nice attacks like I'm doing as well. Comintern as at best, but I see that he went also for light tanks. Level 3 nonetheless. He's playing very aggressively. Beautiful gameplay. Also here a nice tech. Alright, we are 2/3 into day 11. I've already got 7 railroad guns now. They are protected by 10 anti-air, 5 anti-tank, and 5 militia. Oh, I actually have 6 militia. I've sent back the garrison unit. That's not good. I need to correct that immediately. I'm gonna send one back to Puerto Inrida. There we go, much better. The research anti-air and anti-tank is almost done. Overnight I did the research level 2 rocket artillery and artillery level 2. As soon as these are done, I'm gonna upgrade all my units. And then all my units, except for my armored cars and the militia, will be level 3. So the only things to research now is militia level 2, militia level 3, and armored cars level 3. Then I'm gonna have all my units on level 3. That's amazing. Then I can start upgrading my naval bombers. Need to do the same for my submarines. They need level 3. And in the secret tab at day 12, I'm gonna be able to upgrade my rocket artillery. And then very shortly, once I did that, I'm gonna be able to also upgrade my rocket fighters to level 2. And then it's gonna be game on. If all these units are upgraded, it's gonna be pretty awesome. I'm gonna select all my units. I'm basically producing non-stop. 13 militia, 20 anti-air, 20 anti-tank, 12 armored cars, 15 infantry level 3, 20 rocket fighters, 11 subs, 10 naval bombers, 12 rocket fighters, another 5 anti-air but level 2, 8 railroad guns, 11 artillery, another 3 armored cars level 2, 1 attack bomber, and another 3 subs level 2. That attack bomber and that single artillery were units produced by Argentina. Thank you very much for that. And before I'm attacking that stack over here in Oberlandia, I'm taking a huge risk. I am upgrading my artillery, which took 45 minutes, another 33 minutes to go. And I'm gonna have a high level artillery to kick out those units in Oberlandia rather fast. I'm gonna upgrade my rocket artillery because the research is done. There we go. Perfect. Then I can also research. Let's research rocket fighters level 2 and SP rocket artillery. There we go. Need them fast units. And what I've done is I've protected my air bases with militia that I've made, especially for this purpose, or with armored cars. I should move them ahead. There we go. Also the militia from over here, we're gonna move them to the next airstrip. And the militia over here, we're gonna move them as well. Go guys, go. As I have a small range, I'm building air bases as I go, as soon as I capture a province. And this air base here is built. I'm gonna land one of the stacks and I'm gonna keep the other stack patrolling on top of it in case I get attacked. Perfect. Looking good. I've upgraded all my units and I've almost got a second railroad gun stack now, so that's amazing. I've got 23 militia maxed out. All my units are level 3, so I've got 35 anti-air, 32 anti-tank, 22 armored cars, 16 infantry, 20 rocket artillery, 26 subs, 10 naval bombers, 20 rocket fighters that soon will be upgraded to level 2, 11 artillery and 18 railroad guns. And what I'm doing over here, I am building all over the place. I am building infrastructure so that I can move my units rapidly. Building infrastructure all the way down south, from here all the way across the continent. If I get attacked somewhere, I'm gonna be able to mobilize much faster. In the research tab, I am researching SP anti-air and rocket fighter level 2, and I've just finished SP rocket artillery level 1, so I've put them in the queue. Next up is making stacks with armored cars, SP rocket artillery, and SP anti-air. Then in case there's a threat anywhere in my continent of South America, I'm going to be able to respond fast. Right, we are at day 19. It's gonna be the last day in the game because we have way enough points to win the game. I have made more units. I've got now a stack over here of 10 armored cars, 10 SP anti-air, 10 SP rocket artillery. Got the same over here, but it lacks 3 armored cars. I've got my railway that is constructed everywhere in my core provinces, all the way down south. I have been continuing making an entire subwall. I have made naval bombers that are stationed over here and more in the south. Naval bombers over here. Also in the Panama Channel, made more naval bombers. So I have now a giant army, 312 units in total. And if I select them all, you will see that they are highly upgraded. They're all level 3, level 4. I mean, 17 naval bombers, level 4, you can do some damage with that, man. 34 subs, 20 rocket fighters, 36 armored cars, 35 anti-air, 20 rocket artillery, 20 SP rocket artillery, 20 SP anti-air. I mean, damn, you know? Crazy! 33 anti-tank, 28 militias, 20 railroad guns, 11 artillery level 5. Pretty impressive stuff, man. And I'm still researching as well. I'm researching SP anti-air level 2, submarine level 4. Of course, the game is going to end before the research is done, but that's okay. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and hit that bell button for notifications. I want to say a warm thank you to my members and elite members for supporting this channel.